How a five-nation coalition lost to one country. After dealing with the rebellion of his mother and brother, Zheng Zhuanggong faced a new enemy, the five-state alliance consisting of the states of Wei, Chen, Song, Kai, and Lu. Before delving into the details of this war, it is important to understand the context of the time. With so many feudal states, it is not necessary to introduce each one individually. Instead, we can focus on the important states during the early spring and autumn period, making it easier to understand the historical trends. At that time, the tribal peoples were mainly divided into four ethnic groups based on geography. The tribes to the east of the Zhou Dynasty were called the Yi, but there were also many states in this region, such as the powerful Chu State, which guarded against any tribal invasions from the east. To the south were the Man tribes, and the Chu State was stationed there, so there were no tribal invasion problems from the south. The main threat of tribal invasion came from the west and the north. The tribes to the west were the Rong, and the Chang Rong that we previously introduced were one of their tribes. There were no strong feudal states in this area, leading to the Chang Rong invading the capital city, and King Ping of Zhou Dynasty had to move to Luoyi. To the north were the minority ethnic groups known as the Di. Although they were also a threat to the Zhou Dynasty, there was the powerful Jin state to the north, making it much safer than the west. This was the situation of the Zhou Dynasty and the external tribal peoples. Let's take a closer look at the major feudal states. We have talked a lot about the Zheng state, so we won't go into detail again. Just understand that it was a superpower at the time. Next are the six important states, namely Wei, Chen, Song, Kai, Lu, and Qi. Except for Qi, 5 of them were attacking the Zheng state. The Song state was a large state with a vast area of land, but it was mainly plains and was easy to attack and difficult to defend. However, Song state had friendly relations with Chen and Kai, so there were no security issues in the south. To the east were tribes and small states, and some of the Yi tribes depended on the Song state, so there were no major issues in the east. The northern border of the Song state was shared with the Wei and Lu states, both of which were much weaker than the Song state and posed no real threat except for the powerful Zheng state to the west. The Wei state was surrounded by tribal peoples to the west and north, the powerful Qi state to the east, and the Zheng and Song states to the south. Due to its own weakness and the Zheng state being in its prime, Wei joined forces with Song to resist the threat posed by Zheng. The Qi state had an excellent geographic location, with mountains, rivers, and the sea serving as natural barriers. The sea was an important resource for the development of the state's strength through fishing and salt production. Although its national power was not the strongest, it had the greatest potential for development. The tribes to the east were the best development direction, and although the northern tribes were strong, the Qi state had the ability to resist invasion. The weaker Wei state to the west posed no threat, and the biggest threat came from the Lu state to the south. The Lu state was slightly stronger than the Wei state, but its geographic location was not favorable, sandwiched between the Qi and Song states, which severely limited its development. Therefore, its main enemies were the Qi and Song states. Now we're going to take a look at the war between the state of Zheng and the five-nation coalition. But first, let's talk about why this war started. It all began when the Duke of Zheng put down a rebellion led by his own brother, which resulted in his brother committing suicide. At the time, his brother's son fled to the state of Wei for protection. It is believed that the Duke of Zheng made a deal with his brother to spare the life of his nephew in exchange for his brother's suicide. However, as the saying goes, cutting the grass but leaving the roots, if you spare the enemy's loved ones, they will likely come back for revenge. And that's exactly what happened. The five-nation coalition was led by the state of Wei. The state of Wei was also in a state of turmoil, with Duke Shuang's brother, Zhou Yu, having overthrown him and become the new king. Zhou Yu and Duke Shuang's brother had a close relationship and had both rebelled against their own brothers, but now that Zhou Yu had succeeded, he felt obligated to avenge his friend's death. Other states joined the coalition for various reasons. The state of Song wanted to extradite a refugee who had sought shelter in Zheng, similar to how Duke Zhuang's nephew sought refuge in Wei. The states of Chen and Kai had long been allies of Song and shared a common enemy in Zheng, so they joined in as well. The state of Lu provided mercenaries hired by Zhou Yu. However, even with the five-nation coalition, defeating Zheng was no easy task. Zheng was a superpower at the time and no single state had the courage to challenge it. But with the coalition, they had the courage, but not necessarily the strength. The coalition was unable to send all their troops to the front lines due to distrust and fear of betrayal from within. As a result, Zheng's Duke Zhuang employed a strategy of defending without attacking, and after 5 days of stalemate, the coalition was forced to retreat. In war, having a well-organized and motivated army that works together is crucial for victory. Unfortunately, the five-nation coalition was already suspicious of each other even before the war started, and this led to their inevitable defeat. Additionally, it's worth noting that the state of Wei, as the initiator of the war, may have also used the conflict as a means of shifting attention away from domestic issues. What went wrong in Wei state that led to the need for a war?